Well, it started when I was a photojournalist in Miami. I was sent to do a story on the dolphin swim programs in the Florida Keys. And I subsequently met a captain in Key West, Florida, who took me out to swim with dolphins. He and I became good friends, and over many years, I developed a keen appreciation for the dolphins and the environment. And after about 7 years of going out and swimming with this wild pod of dolphins, I had an incredible experience with them. As the captain described it, I was led into the dolphin club, and it entailed being able to spend time with the pod and them not really caring that I was there. And through that process, I came up with I felt this connection with them, and I wanted to come up with a way to illustrate that, and that's what became Goddesses, Sirens, and Mermaids with my project, was basically, in essence, trying to show that connection that we have with these animals. We go to each location for the animal that's there, whether it's a dolphin or a stingray or a manatee, a whale, a shark. Every place we go is because of the animals that are there. Going to places where there's big animals, whether whale sharks, more sharks, whales, manta rays. These are all things that I have yet to do. But the sharks were really a moving experience. We really enjoyed being with them, and even in spite of one of my models getting a little nip on her foot, it was such an amazing, mesmerizing experience that, in fact, I'm considering just doing a book exclusively on sharks. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I'm leaning toward that. If you're talking about the danger, you're going to have that anywhere in the world. Certain people are going to think that what you're doing is dangerous, that you're putting your models at risk. Anybody in the diving industry or the nature industry knows that that's not what I'm doing, and that the animals we're working with really aren't dangerous. When accidents happen, it's really a isolated incident. It can be, I'd say, contributed to mistakes we made. If somebody gets hurt, it's not necessarily an animal problem, it's our problem. Now, if you take the nudity issue, now that's more of a United States issue. The rest of the world does not care that I'm shooting women naked. In my own country, they have a problem with nudity, which is utterly ridiculous. That's why I'm here in Germany at the boat. That's why I do shows in France. I'm in more dive magazines outside the United States than I am in the United States. It's very unfortunate that America is very uptight about nudity, and there's a great little story I like to tell people about what happened. I was doing an American dive show, and this little 13-year-old girl is looking at my book and telling me how amazing the work is, and it's just incredible. And her mother walks up behind her, looks over her shoulder and sees what she's looking at, grabs her and takes her away. Take another dive show in France. This mother is looking at the work, telling me how incredible it is. Now, it was like a mother's intuition. I don't know, I didn't even see her look up. Her 13-year-old daughter is walking behind her. She reaches behind her like unseen, grabs her, pulls her to look at the book and says, "Look at how amazing this is." That says it right there. A French mother will take her 13-year-old daughter to see my work, and in America, will take her away from my work. So it's all in a nutshell. That's how the attitude is, ridiculous as it is. So. The hardest thing technically is something I have absolutely no control over, which is the weather. Every time, I mean, a week before the shoot, 2 weeks before the shoot, I live with the Weather Channel on. I'm watching fronts. I become my own weatherman. I can predict what the weather's going to be wherever we're going, 2 weeks ahead of time. Oh, we're going to have a perfect day of shooting this one day. That's my biggest technical thing, and I have no control over it. In the past, I've used strobes, flash guns, to light up the scene. But I really try to use it as a balance. I try to shoot as much available light as possible and use the strobes to lighten up, to open up the faces to make them brighter. Now with digital, you're afforded a certain amount of latitude because digital is more forgiving light-wise, and especially with color and there's all sorts of advantages with digital. Now you can use magic filters, which this gentleman in England developed that help balance the color as far as digital goes. In fact, this picture behind me, this was shot with the magic filters, no strobes, no lighting of any kind. It's so well balanced in color because of the way you can white balance digital with these filters. So as the technology changes, I'm trying to adapt, to my style of photography, which is more available light with just a little strobe. Now I can shoot almost all available light, especially in the Bahamas where the water is very clear. I shoot Nikon, but I use Mamiya. I'm looking at Canon, especially with the digital now. There's a lot of features in different. My favorite, if you were going to hold me to it, Nikon D2X, with a 10 millimeter lens is really a nice.
10 millimeter.
Yeah. Well, with the the digital magnifies that slightly, so I guess it becomes more like a 14, like a 16 fisheye. You want to be close to the action and get all the action. A wide angle helps do that. But I also find that the wide angle is really the best lens to shoot underwater. You want to remove as much space between you and your subject as you can. Basically, you're trying to remove water between you and your subject, and still get as much in the picture as possible. So wide angle is the way to accomplish that. So that's all I really shoot underwater is very wide angle lenses. Every time I get in the water, I feel like I have to say that I have the greatest job in the world.